we have listened to a talk which is different in nature and texture and intensity. And you'll all agree that it was heavy, but sometimes the heavy things are also refreshing. Heavy things don't always make you heavy. So this was very weighty. At the same time, it has enlightened us because it informed us about some of the things which we did not know. We knew, but it was in our subconscious state. It has been brought to the surface. That is the main output of the lecture. See, first of all, I'll take 5-10 minutes to recapitulate what she said by way of synopsizing what she said, with the hope that the message will go to all of us. That is the purpose of having a bilingual talk. A talk in Odia has to be translated in English and English in Odia. That is how we again relive the past. Past 45 minutes she has been talking to us. First of all, she began with the example, a very titillating example of Sanjana Simon, eunuch, whom she made recently. There was a poets meet, I know, I was also there, there's some other parallel meet, I was there. This is very touching. She was a eunuch, neither man nor woman. But somehow she had a disposition to become a woman. So she underwent with her consent surgery and turned woman. She's a beautiful woman. She loves to adorn herself with, just like every woman would, decorate her to look more presentable. So when that happened, many people proposed, but she refused. She refused because by marrying somebody, she is satisfying the libidinal instinct of male, but her own disposition, her own instinct for motherhood will remain unfulfilled. The consummation of womanhood is in the motherhood. So motherhood is the consummation of the womanhood. Every woman wants to be a mother. If I cannot be a mother, even after surgery, why should I go for a life where I simply lend myself to satisfy the physical urge of a male? Look at the autonomy, independence, and what is important is the clarity of thought in Sanjana. That is what she was trying to draw our attention to. Going forward, she tried to recount how the status of women down the centuries, very befitting to the topic she was supposed to talk about. So in the primitive stage, if you go back, then women were at the center stage. Why? The reason was utilitarian, pragmatic. Because males cannot beget, females can beget children. In those times, human resource was necessary. Because in Vedas, there is invocation, oh God, give me 100 sons. Let me live for 100 autumns. The autumn was the best season. So there was a prayer for long life and a large family with more number of children. Because the more the number of children, the more powerful is your clan or gosti. That is why they were praying for more children. And for that, woman is instrumental. So a woman who can beget more children, woman was responsible for a bigger family, so more strength, still incorrigible. So what happens is, so women were at the center stage. So that was a matriarchal, matrukondrika parivar, matriarchal family. Then what happened is, gradually there were a conflict among clans, tribes. They used to, different gotras living on different hilltops. Now when one clan is defeated, they were taken as slaves. And then she went to talk about conflict of clans and slavery and crossbreeding. And those children who are born out of, now we call it in the English language bastards, they are more precocious, more intelligent. Refer to that. And then she then she went on to draw our attention to the fact that gradually those families were disorganized. There was a primitive man settled habitation near the fertile lands. So great civilization flourished on the river bank. We call it river bank civilization. Because you work for 3 months and you have saving for 6 months, then in that time only Vedas were composed because man had leisure. So in that period, women used to tell males to go and work in the field, so that they have time to nourish their motherhood, rearing of the children, giving them love and affection, taking care of the family. So males were there so they preferred that kind of that was state where women enjoyed maximum autonomy and fulfillment of their motherhood. There cannot be more joy than seeing your child nurtured into excellence. If a child becomes sick, mother doesn't sleep. Others may sleep. Because mother always considers the child whom I have brought out is a part of my being. So anything happening there happens to her. If she cries, mother understands something because cry triggered by hunger or triggered by some pain. It's a mother who can distinguish between the nature of the cry and decipher what is the cause of the cry. Is it hunger? Is it some pain in the stomach? So that is what motherhood is. So what happened is she drew our attention to the fact that when the cave dwellers came into settled habitation, the institution of marriage came into being. Families, marriage, bonding. So bonding within the family confines, but it had also a bad fallout. Males, as he said, they are more instinctively triggered. That is, apart from their own family, they used to have extramarital relationship. But one thing was there, though there was free mixing, but incest was banned. Incest means relationship among brothers and sisters, because they knew that otherwise the society will disintegrate. So incest was banned. But males used to have extramarital relations with other women. And at that point of time, the institution of prostitution, the harlots institute prostitution, that came into Nagara Badhu. So this is how the women were considered to be, degenerative considered to be commodity. And it became more so during, and then he said that yes, during capitalistic system, and the feudal lords came, how they enjoyed and all these, women are meant for the object of their enjoyment and all that, the feudal lords, and the girls used to dance and all these things were there. But he said that there is some relief, some autonomy during capitalist system when women were allowed to work in the factories. At least they had some capacity to earn and had to make a difference to the economic standard of the family. So that in a capitalist system, but capitalism gradually degenerated. And what happened, what we see today, if there is an advertisement, women are always used for advertisement. So those models, those girls who are more beautiful and can go to an extent of nudity, they are used as models. They are encouraged to become film actress and so on and so forth. That women are, every advertisement you find mostly women. And women, because of money, also lend themselves to be an object of advertising. So this is also an illicit fallout of capitalism, where women is considered to be a commodity. Then there was a time when she has nicely said, males will write scriptures and women will follow. Male will enact laws and women will follow. They cannot lead. You see, this is how she was trying to say the inferiority complex, that we are inferior, they are superior. This inferiority complex was infused or instilled or injected in the psyche of the women at large. The social conditions were such, social conditioning was such, and social ambience or circumstances such that women were made to feel that they are inferior. There is a famous, not a story but incident. When the slavery was abolished by Abraham Lincoln, Africa, there was cargo of slaves, not goods. Cargo of slaves were, sent to US. So there were slave markets, and these they were being beaten. A slave who can withstand more of beating, he will cost more. So that is why there is an instruction from the master: even if you are tortured, don't move. If you move, then they will not give you food. That was the state of slavery. When the slavery was abolished, a slave came to the master from the developer. It is reported. A slave came to the master. He said, "Master, what harm have I done? Why do you make me free? ମୁଁ କ'ଣ ଆଜ୍ଞା ଭୁଲ କଲି ଯେ ମୋତେ ଆପଣ ଆଜି ଏଥିରୁ ମୁକ୍ତ କରିଦେଇଛନ୍ତି, ଦାସତ୍ୱରୁ ମୁକ୍ତ କରୁଛନ୍ତି?" That means I am meant to be a slave. You are depriving me of the opportunity or right to be slave. That means slavery ଏଭଳି ଅସ୍ଥି ମଜାଗତ ହେଇଯାଇଥିଲା ଯେ ସ୍ଲେଭରୁ ତ ମୁକ୍ତ ହେଲା ସେ ହେଉଛି ମୋତେ ମୁକ୍ତ କାହିଁ କରୁଛନ୍ତି, କ'ଣ ଭୁଲ କଲି କି? Similar is the state of women. How many people, how many women even today would like to revolt against their father, their husband, even on right grounds, because they are made to feel that their males are born to rule or even command, and we have to obey their command. That is the spirit of what she says. He said that Vedic period there is some relief. Women were free to learn. Even during Fakir Mono, just giving the example of Rebati, low Rebi, low Chuli, because ପାଠ ପଢ଼ିବାକୁ ଗଲେ ତାର ବସନ୍ତ ଇଏ ମରିଗଲେ ନା, ତେଣୁ ଫକୀର କହୁଛନ୍ତି ମା ଭାବିଲା ଯେ ଇଏ ଯେହେତୁ ପାଠ ପଢ଼ିବାକୁ ଗଲା ତେଣୁ ଘରେ ଏଇସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ଘଟିଲା. It is very, she was quoting Fakir Mohan, Rebati. So, but women were free to participate. They were considered to be co-partners in Yajna, Vedic period, and there are many women who we still remember with adoration. And then in a capitalistic era, she says that yes, women, there was a revolt of women. They were conscious of the rights. They were conscious that why we are equal to them, why we are marginalized, why we are segregated, why we are exploited. So there was a revolt. Feminist movement started, International Women's Day, maybe yesterday or day before yesterday, So that is how it started, and it had a snowballing effect. Now the feminism is the current of feminism. It's simply so. Now friends, I want to remember one thing. When somebody asserts his right, labor ମାନେ ସେମାନେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଆମର ଏଇଟା ଅଧିକାର, ତାମାନେ ତାଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ କିଏ ନା କିଏ ତାଙ୍କ ଅଧିକାରଟା କ୍ଷୁର୍ଣ୍ଣ କରୁଛି. ଯଦି ଅଧିକାରଟା କ୍ଷୁର୍ଣ୍ଣ ନ ହେବ ଗୋଟେ ଲୋକ ଅଧିକାର ମନସ୍କ ହେବ କି? ଗୋଟେ ନର୍ମାଲ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲିରେ ଆମର ପରସନଙ୍କ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲିରେ ତାଙ୍କ ୱାଇଫ୍ ରିଭୋଲ୍ଟ କରୁନି because he is always protective towards his wife. He does his duty towards his wife. So there is no scope to revolt. Students don't revolt if their basic needs are fulfilled. If their basic needs are encroached upon, they go in revolt. So the very demand for equality shows that they have been marginalized. The very feminist movement shows somewhere, I don't say that they are all right, because many of the women persecution, bride burning is done by mother-in-laws in connivance with unmarried sister-in-law. Father has a very minimal role. That is also a fact. Sometimes also women use the laws in their favor to the detriment of their counterpart. They exploit it. That is a human tendency. There is a human tendency to abuse freedom or to misuse freedom. We are not going to that. But the fact remains that women have been marginalized. That is what she was trying to draw attention to. Then she was, that was very profound. We didn't know this. Many of us might not know about Divya. When she wanted to be inducted to Buddhist pantheon, Buddha says, get the permission of your parents. He said, why Amrapali and others, they didn't get the permission of any males? Why I should get? And they are Nagaravadhu, but you are Kulavadhu. Then he said, it's better to wear Nagaravadhu. When she gave a, declaration in the cottage, that I am Nagaravadhu, Vadhu. Then the father looked and said, why you are doing it? He said, it's better that I live like a prostitute, but I have freedom of a woman, than live in subjugation and take my identity through your identity. Look at this. Such a great story. Which simply means that what is important is freedom. A bird doesn't want to be caged. A dog doesn't want to be tethered. The other day we were celebrating, there is a old age home in the name of Avilas. There was a boy who used to go, and if he finds some birds sold in the cages, he will give the money. What is the cost of one bird? 200. How many birds? 600. He will give 1200 and release them. Because he knew that once they are sold, they will go to another cage. And a bird wants to be free, even though the food is uncertain. In the cage, a caged bird is assured of the food. But the bird in the air is free, though the food is uncertain. Food is there in the state of nature. So freedom is a bird, a seed, wants to be free, that is, it comes out of it. This is the nature of the tree branches are. So freedom is there because, why? The reason is, we have all come from a state of freedom. Our source is freedom, Sat, Chita. Now, that is a state of freedom. And we have a tendency to the freedom. So if there is a temporarily, if that the freedom is circumscribed or suppressed or oppressed or constricted, then that is bound to be revolt. That is what she was trying to point out. Then she gave the example of many, many great women who were subject to suppression, persecution and marginalization, including Kuntala Kumari Sabha and Madame Curie and others. Another very, very important thing, important things, she said, like a male, the female has also a mind. She has also emotions. She has also sentiments, which are sometimes ignored. Sometimes the force of the masculinity, we call it in English, masculine despotism. The masculinity, the power of the brain or the muscle tries to overpower, suppress the emotions, sentiments and mind and soul of a woman. Like any male, female has also a mind, she has also emotions. If she had not had emotions, God would not have given her the power to beget and beget children. It is the emotion which nurtures a child. Mother gives everything to the child. Sharing and caring for the child, sacrificing all her comforts for the child. Remember, a woman may be a quarrelsome lady. Woman may be selfish in relation to her husband. But a woman is selfless in relation to her children. That is all about motherhood. Then, she says that plight of woman. Last phase, I should not say because our children inmates are there. The girls are not safe in their families. Several children were rescued, were abused by the father. Mother has married and father has abused 9-year-old children. Gandhi said that that is what she was pointing out, Dr. Mohanty, that Gandhi said, you know that we have discussed it. We live in a civil society. What is the criterion that we live in a civil society? If a young woman can walk freely, fearlessly, in the dead of the night, in the downtown. Now against this, right, what? Do we live in a civil society? Why mother says come before 9 o'clock? Why that lady said that, that what is her name? Nirvaya. No one blamed that boy. He said, why she came in the downtown? Why 9 o'clock she came out? Look at the social system. Look at the social system. But she had high regards for Rammohn Roy and Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, who tried to fight for women. The message is, the women's, if woman is my mother is a woman, anything happening to this species of called women, the male should fight. It is not that women should fight for the rights. It is not that women should fight for the rights. It is the male who should fight for the rights of women, because if the women are unsafe, the society is unsafe. There is a disharmony in society because women constitute an integral part of society, and their safety is a prerequisite, indispensable for social harmony. And she ended by saying that individually people may be very sympathetic, but the institutional exploitation is more. You must have seen that a boy is very good, but who is in a mob, he becomes very powerful. So there has been such perpetration of exploitation has been promoted by institutions. There has been institutionalization of the masculine superiority. That is why it is necessary that women should rise up, they should be made conscious, and they should assure themselves by the wise thoughts that the men have more muscular power, but the power of love that you have, the power of the soul, the power of the mind that woman has can always overpower the masculine, the blind masculine despotism. So that was the message. And he said she has a mind, she has a soul, and the soul power, the mind power is more powerful than muscle power, the power of subjugation, which gives the power of subjugation to males over females. And lastly, it is a mother who should teach the child, because the boy is a male in future making. So mother should infuse these values in son, that whenever you see a girl, treat her as your sister. As you treat your sister, you treat your sister, treat the women with love and dignity. The education should begin from the family. So you are requested to ask questions.